I'm going to be showing you guys how I assemble a lower receiver. I want to first of all thank our sponsors, Badger Ordnance, Modular Driven Technologies, Deadfoot Arms, and Arcan Optics for sending stuff to use in the video. So I'll go over some of the parts as we're going through the build. I purchased two different grips. I'd never used a Reptilia product before, and this is kind of my go-to. It's the Magpul Mo K2 Plus. It's got a little bit straighter angle to it. So, but the Reptilia, the CQG grip actually does as well. It just doesn't have the rubberized coating like the K2 Plus. And it's also quite a bit shorter than the standard AR grip. So we'll kind of see how we like it. The Deadfoot Arms is, to my knowledge, the only folding stock adapter that actually allows you to fire the weapon as the stock is folded. So that is, in my opinion, one of the coolest features about having a folding stock is its packability. And then to be able to maintain the shootability of the firing system and the weapon, that to me is why I contacted these guys to see if they would be willing to submit this. I've already opened the package, and it is the machining on it is top quality. They do really good work. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but right there, that is a huge plus. So, and then we've got the Modular Driven Technologies skeleton carbine stock. I'm sure everybody is pretty familiar with Modular Driven Technologies, but when I contacted them about this, they said, well, we don't really advertise our stock for ARs. And I said, well, if you don't mind, I would like to put one on there, because the market's kind of limited for precision rifle guys, precision rifle stock. So we're pretty fortunate that they've made it use a standard AR buffer system. But a little surprise, this thing right here, the folding stock adapter, we don't need that. So anyway, let's get started. So for this build, I purchased a Design 17 billet lower receiver. It is manufactured using 7075 T6 aluminum. They also thread the bolt catch pin, and something I do on almost all of my receivers is I tap this rear takedown detent hole. I have a hard time making up my mind on what I like on a firearm, so I just go ahead and do that so that I don't have to send my detent springs flying. So that's just something I do. So we're going to be using a Moz Defense lower parts kit. I'm going to go ahead and pull out all the stuff we're not going to use. Safety. So I've assembled with Moz Defense before on two previous lowers. Their products seem to be pretty good. I mean, I don't know about longevity, but they sure seem to have a nice finish. So First thing I always do is I use the magazine catch. So one is steel, one's titanium. You can actually feel the Badger Ordnance. It's actually lighter in the hand. So that's pretty cool. So now that it's started, just spin it on until the threads of the bolt catch are flush with the button. And then I adjust after it's all said and done. I can go one more, it looks like. Okay. And you can check in here when you push the magazine catch. You see that it's flush down inside there when you release it. So that should be good. Next thing I do is I do my bolt catch, and Badger Ordnance sent titanium. My goodness, that's lightweight. So I'm gonna pull this threaded pin out. If you can't see it, it's really, really tiny. That was my phone. And from here, we're going to, there it is. So then we just take and thread this in. I may go back later and put just a little bit of thread locker on there after I'm finished with this, just to be on the safe side. Last thing I want to do is lose it. So here we've got our bolt catch. Nice looking piece. So then I'm going to take and what I do is when I go to tap this, I have a 440 tap, and it is just about the right size. So I run that little tap right down in there, and it cuts the aluminum and the anodizing. It works out really, really well. Makes life a lot easier if you're going to change a buttstock or something like that. So I'm going to use this. Get my D10 in there. Drop the D10 in, and usually what I do is I just take and I take my takedown spring and I just trim 1/8 of an inch off, because that's the size of my set screw. And we're going to continue on installing our Rise Armament RA434 trigger. I like these kind of trigger pins. They don't walk out. And then we're also going to use our Badger Ordnance Condition 1 safety. I'm going to use it in the 90-degree throw configuration. So here we go. I've used Rise Armament triggers for quite a few builds now and found them to be reliable and of pretty good quality for the price. So here we just gonna drop this guy in here. I went ahead and put on one side of the ambidextrous Badger Ordnance Condition 1 safety, and we slip it in place. And I've installed one screw on my trigger retainer pins on each side. So I've got two grips. I've got the Magpul K2 Plus, and I have the Reptilia CQG grip. I had never had a Reptilia product, so I decided to go ahead and give this one a try. I will say that it is substantially shorter than the Magpul K2 Plus. The quality seems pretty good, but I think for this build I'm actually going to continue with my tried and true K2 Plus. So I've already installed the supplied trigger safety detent that came with the Condition 1 safety, and Badger Ordnance also makes titanium pistol grip screws, which I'm going to use. This thing weighs nothing. This uses a T30 bit, so I'll go ahead and install that. Gotta make sure you put your spring in. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll load this. Put the grip in place and leave a small gap to make sure that everything is lined up correctly. Seems to work. Fire. Safe. Wow, that's a pretty darn nice trigger. Okay, so now we'll move on to our front takedown pin detent. I'm sure you'll talk to any AR builder, they're going to tell you that they've lost a dozen of these, if not more. So my method to installing is I use a razor blade, a pair of trusty hemostats. I'll put pin in here. And then I start it, hold it with the razor blade, and then remove the razor blade. And that's easy as that. So now I'm gonna pause the video because I'm going to install this. Here I'm going to show you how to install the Deadfoot Arms side folding unit. Deadfoot Arms was nice enough to send us this unit to use in the video. And included in the package was a set of springs for, I'm assuming the 9mm, for use in a 9mm. All the springs are color coded, but I'm going to use the ones that were included, which is the red. Also included was some stickers and a very detailed set of instructions. So that's actually nice. So starting off, this is a very high quality unit. The machining on it is very, very good. I can't find any tool marks on the outside anywhere, that would matter anyway. And the lockup is super, super tight, so you know that's gonna aid in a good purchase on your shoulder. And this is actually the buffer tube. It's incredible, guys. This thing is super short. Look at this. So that's really neat. So then anyway, they use a compound spring system, which I see no problem with. It looks like a very high quality unit. So first thing you do, according to the instructions, is on a new lower, is you're going to remove this, but since we've already installed our set screw, so we won't lose our rear takedown pin and detent, we're going to go ahead and skip down. So we're going to take this and thread it on. Then you remove this and use your standard AR buffer tube wrench, and you tighten it up. They don't give you a torque spec, so that's but that's okay. So now we need the upper receiver. So in our upper receiver, we're going to take our modified bolt, which this came in the kit as well, and it has been, as you can see, it's been modified. We're going to insert into the upper receiver. So there we've got that. So you pin it, and then you take this and put it in first, and then you take the long spring, and then you take this assembly and push it in, and I knew I was going to do that. And screw it down finger tight. So now we've got it on our upper, and we can go ahead and function test. And I have screwed something up. So what did I do? Okay, so that spring was binding up. Guys, this is my first time installing this, so bear with me. There we go. That feels like I'm charging an AR. Wow. Okay. So there's that. So now we're going to install our MDT SCS, which stands for Skeletonized Carbine Stock. It has really smooth controls for adjustable cheek and adjustable length of pull, and you can adjust the butt pad vertical. So we're gonna go ahead and thread it on. Back it off. So here, there's a Harris bipod using the Badger Ordnance M-Lock. You're able to order that directly from Badger Ordnance with the Centurion arms. Design 17, upper and lower, billet upper and lower receiver. Rise armament trigger. Badger Ordnance Condition 1 Safety. Badger Ordnance Ambidextrous Tack Latch. Little note about this, a lot of guys don't know, Badger Ordnance was actually the company. Marty Bordson was actually the man to give us the ambidextrous charging handle. So that's a little tidbit of information that maybe a lot of you didn't know, but you do now. So and here's our dead foot arms, right side folding mechanism. And the cool thing about this folding stock mechanism, fellas, is you are able to fire from the closed position. So that is pretty cool. Very different from the other ones out on the market. So there we have it.